One more thing I say.
Here, call this number and put it on this telephone.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
No, I
Oh, you're
I don't
sorry.
know.
We're gonna start. You lost your chance, sorry. Talk
I
through
have not
this.
seen my email.
There's an area code.
All right.
Nice guy,
I charge extra.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. Route 30, AKA Water Main Break Road.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the July 20th, 2020 Crest Hill City Council meeting to order. If everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Ray Solomon.
Here.
Glenn Conklin.
Present.
Scott Dyke. John Verche.
Here,
Barbara Scolaire.
Here,
Claudia Gazal.
Here,
Tina Oberlin.
Present.
Marco Colidi Petro.
Here.
Nate Albert.
Here.
Joe Kubal.
Here.
Okay, for the record, I did receive a telephone call from Alderman Dyke this afternoon, and due to a prior commitment, he will not be able to be here this evening, so he is excused for this meeting this evening. We do not have a business promotion on the agenda this evening, so let's begin with the approval of the minutes of the July 6, 2020 Crest Hill City Council meeting.
so moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderwoman Scolaire, seconded by Alderman Kubal, for the approval of the July 6, 2020 Crest Hill.
That was Colidi Pietro.
Oh, my fault. Alderman Cola DiPietro on the second for the approval of the July 6, 2020 Crest Hill City Council meeting. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Nate Albert. Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
yes,
John Verche.
yes,
Barbara Scolaire.
Yes,
Marco Colidi Petro.
Yes.
Motion carries.
You also have before you the minutes of the July 13th Crest Hill City Council work session. Motion would be in order.
So moved as presented.
second,
Motion by Alderwoman Overland, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal for the approval of the July 13th Crest Hill City of Crest Hill work session minutes. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Barbara Scolaire.
yes,
Marco Colidi Petro.
Yes.
Nate Albert. Yes. Joe Kubal.
Yes.
John Verche.
yes,
Claudia Gazal.
yes,
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving on with the agenda, our city administrator, Heather McGuire, is on vacation this week, so she is also excused for this meeting this evening, but we have with us our assistant city administrator and human resource director, Megan Falera. Megan,
Thanks, Mayor.
To
No
the-
substitute.
podium, please.
No substitute for our city administrator, but here nonetheless. Before you is the grievance settlement. I know this was discussed at a previous work session, and I think we'd just like to have a roll call vote approving it so that we can execute it.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Albert, seconded by Alderwoman Oberlin for the approval of the grievance settlement agreement, which was discussed last Monday evening at our July 13th work session. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
John Verche.
yes,
Barbara Scolaire.
yes,
Claudia Gazal.
yes,
Marco Colidi Petro.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Nate Albert. Motion carries.
Is that it?
That's it. I have a memo in the packet about a training that we sent out. It's now required that our elected officials are also trained in anti-harassment prevention. If any of you did not receive the link, if you need me to resend it, I'll be glad to. If you don't have access to a computer or the internet, we can provide that for you here at City Hall.
And Heather also put the informational report in the packet before her vacation. Okay,
Can I ask Mark something?
well, when we get there.
What about this? She put in there.
Right, when we get there.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Megan. All right, moving on to Public Works Department. Tom Miggets was actually ill today, so we have with us this evening our Director of Water and Wastewater, Mark Seifert. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Public Works has nothing on the agenda today, but I do have a few informational items that I would like to go over with you all tonight. The first one Starting Wednesday or Thursday this week, our contractor is still narrowing down, making sure they can get here either Wednesday or Thursday. We will start painting fire hydrants in the following 3 neighborhoods: Fox Meadows, Caroline Lakes, and the Zausa subdivision. All of those will get done. It is a 3-step process of sandblasting, priming, and painting. So residents may see the gray primer on there for a day while it dries. On Facebook tomorrow, a link to a video will be sent out, so residents can watch the process in action. Email blast was sent to all the Caroline residents last week with the link to the video as well. So it will be going on Facebook and a smart message tomorrow. We will be painting 238 hydrants this year in those subdivision areas, and we'll be knocking out full subdivisions and not piecemeal. The next item I'd like to talk about is the Gaylord Water Tower. I know for many years we've been waiting to get that painted. The time has finally arrived. We will be having our construction walkthrough this week. The process is a little different than the previous 2 towers. Because of the cell phone carriers on that tower, a temporary cell phone tower will be erected in the front yard of that well house in order so they can move and continue service to residents in the area. Once they have all their services moved over to the temporary tower, they will start the OSHA repairs like we have on all the other tanks. Obviously, these tanks were put up many years ago, and OSHA requirements have changed in terms of the size of the catwalk, how far the ladder rungs are apart, the size openings on top of the tower. All those OSHA repairs will take place. And then you will notice, as you've probably seen neighboring towns, a giant tarp or a curtain will be put over the water tower. Our other 2 water towers were able to be just overcoat, where they could just spray over the top of the current coating. Well 8, unfortunately, the condition has deteriorated to a state that it does need to be sandblasted, interior and exterior. So you will see, in order to prevent any debris, dust, anything getting onto neighboring homes, a curtain will be erected around that tower during the sandblasting. And then that'll come down and you'll see that awesome baby blue color go up as the primer color, and then the final top coat of the dark blue. We're looking at a 3 to 4 month process, weather dependent. That's very, especially with the curtain going up in the sandblasting, wind is now a factor. So it is very weather dependent. We're hoping at minimum getting the primer coat on before the winter hits. And then if we have to, worst case scenario, we can put the top coat on next spring when the weather breaks. Does anybody have anything about those 2 items before I move on to the water main breaks?
Mark, I do. Quick
Yes.
one. Going back to the fire hydrants, it's my understanding, talking to Heather real quick, that the snow guards that are on the fire hydrants the fire department said they didn't need them on there anymore. Can you talk about that, what the plan is?
So the snow, previous to many of us here, the landscape company in Caroline put a very old style flag on the hydrants in
Right.
Caroline, and they would attach to the side port. Those were never, the city never purchased those. Those are not owned by the city. They're not city property.
Right.
And really, they're a hindrance to the city anytime we have to work on the hydrant, because they're a very old school technology that they don't really work anymore. So they'll fall, they'll flop, we'll get phone calls saying this is down. It's just not really economical or useful to use that anymore. Since we are painting now, the city, we're not going to be painting someone else's property to make those blue, especially when they're such an old school technology. And now, since the fire department does have GPS and GIS in their trucks, it's not as such as they need those in it. I mean, the last time we had a snowstorm that is above a hydrant is many years ago. But they have GPS and GIS where they can go and see those hydrants, where exactly they are. We did mention to Candy and Cindy at Caroline, if it is for a snowplow backing up for their private landscapers, local hardware stores do sell the fiberglass stakes to mark where the hydrants are. But putting those flags on the hydrants, we're just not going to, that at this point is not going to be smart for us to have those. We'd have our freshly painted hydrants and then these old rusted yellow flags. And in talking to Caroline, they didn't have the funds to paint them either.
Right. So when you do the painting, you're just gonna take those off,
The
and
one-
then they'll be brought someplace?
Yes, the yellow ones that are the screw-on side type will come. Our contractor has said they will take them and put them in their truck for no cost, bring them down to me, and then I'll deliver them to Caroline because they believe they are owned by the landscaper. But the ones that are now bolted on, they're the red, white, and blue ones that are kind of the springy ones.
Right.
Those will stay on.
Okay.
Those will stay on. Those are an annoyance for us in the fire department, but at least they are fiberglass. They stay up, and they don't look terrible.
Yeah.
So
Okay, thank you.
no problem.
Hey, Mark,
Yes.
regarding the water tower, the temporary cell tower that goes up, what does that look like? Do we have any, are we liable for any damage that's done to those units or anything like that during this process?
So under the units,
The actual
Cell
cell
units.
towers that you're talking about, the
so it's going to look like a regular cell tower. It's a steel tube with the antennas on it. Those are owned and maintained by Verizon and Sprint. They will be responsible for the moving. They'll be responsible for the temporary tower. The city's incurring zero cost to move their equipment off our tower. This is part of the contracts we have with them, the lease agreements, and that this is basically regular tank maintenance and painting. So in our contract and lease with them, it is their requirement to remove it for up to as long as we need to get our job done.
and obviously we're not liable if something gets damaged while the painting process.
Nope, well, everything will be off. So there will be nothing left. When the tank is getting
Well, I mean-
painted,
I mean, even on the grounds, you know. if
no, they're going to basically put tarps over all their machinery on the ground as well. And the type of paint we use is called dry fall. So as soon as it hits air, if it doesn't hit the tower right away, it hits air, it solidifies right away. So it would drop as like a paint chip instead of wet falling paint. So it's a paint that is very economical and smart to use on like especially high painting.
Thank you.
Just wanted to go over, obviously, over the last week, starting last Sunday, we have had 4 water main breaks in the Route 30 area. 3 actually on Route 30, 1 being on Sybil in the Whispering Meadows neighborhood. That main is pretty old. And once one goes, it does cause a shockwave to go through the system. And it will find other weak points. The first one we had on Sunday night, there were about 7 fist-sized holes in 11 foot of pipe. So we sectioned out 11 foot of pipe, turned it back on, fixed that 11 foot, and 6 foot over, there was another break that just didn't manifest itself. So we fixed that as well. Then we had the one on Sybil. That was actually about 7 inches from an old break that was fixed in 2015. And unfortunately, when these things do break, they can damage some of the pipe around them. So it's not unusual to have a break right next to where a break just was. Obviously, on Tuesday, we had another break. Some of the issues with that's right. I don't know how many know. There's a high pressure 12-inch Nicor gas main that runs right down Route 30. It crosses over to the east side of the road, right at the dermatology place, the dermatology office. So, because we're so close, we had a lot of issues with timing, and Nicor has to watch us dig, even though anytime we're within 10 foot of their pipe. So they're out there watching us. And then Friday into Saturday night, we did have one more at the intersection of Fern. All these are in one close area. Obviously, we're looking extensively at what we can do in the next couple of years, capital-wise, to take care of this. I know myself, and for you and the residents, it's not fun to have a water main break, have your water shut off, or have boil orders. And for the guys, those are anytime we're on Route 30, those are very, very long days and nights. We are looking at options, including lining, moving the main. Unfortunately, with it being Route 30 and a major corridor for every utility, moving the main is not a real economical option. So we're looking at if we can line it, how we can line it, and we're working on those plans for upcoming fiscal budgets. We do have some experience with lining. Back in 2009, 2010, we did line a section of Main from Limness, right at the intersection of Limness, about halfway up the hill, right towards the railroad tracks, where the old railroad tracks are. So that part of that main is already lined, so we would look to continue that going forward, but we are still working through some of the preliminary, 30,000 foot level engineering on it. So, but I just want to give you guys kind of an overview of what did go on, and we are looking at some way to fix Route 30 along with a lot of the other capital items that we do have on schedule for the next 5 years.
Well, many thanks to the Public Works for,
Thank you.
Not only is that a difficult situation, it's a dangerous situation with the way the cars move on Route 30 there, and especially coming up the hill is a very dangerous situation. And what is it, 12 inches of blacktop there they have to take out?
Yeah, it's 12 inches of blacktop there, and then there's riprap and all kinds of different stone that the state used to bed that road.
But those pipes are probably 70 years plus.
They're at least 65 plus. Some of those were put in well before a lot of us were alive, but they
With exception.
No.
but unfortunately with the truck traffic now on 30 with the heavy truck traffic and the age, and it just, there's a lot of combination of factors that go into when these mains break. And like I said, when one section breaks, it sends a shock wave, and water's a magical thing. It will find a weak point and exploit it real fast. So with that,
Okay, any questions
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Public Works?
Well, I first want to thank you also because I realize that that is Public Works' job, but as I said to you Saturday, it was so god-awful hot. I felt so bad for those guys, and a humongous hole you had to dig there, and I just really appreciate, even though it is the job, it was a treacherous job, and it was a ridiculously hot day, so that was wonderful.
thank you very much.
And
I'll
I
let you
hope
guys know.
everybody survived okay.
Yeah, we did. I'll
But-
let the guys know. Thank you.
Huh?
I'll let the
Oh,
guys
yes,
know. Thank
please
you.
do. And tell them I'm sorry my aim isn't so good. The grant that you're looking at for the Jasmine Creek, have we heard anything more after this?
I believe, and this don't, I believe there has been some good news come through on that, but I'll let Tom send that out this week.
I would like to know, because I'm really hoping that, that's really great news if that is indeed comes through for that.
Yeah, I believe some good news came through, but I don't know the exact dollars or numbers.
Okay.
So I'll make sure, ask Tom to send something out this week.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, you were out there too in the trenches, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I have a quick question. Are we like, you said you're gonna work on it like for the next budget. There's any like grants out there? I mean, at this point, it's just like, I don't know if everyone feels like me, we just keep patching the problem over and over. Can we look into a loan at this point? We can't keep shutting water on people. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over. And long term is costing us more money, just keep patching it.
Unfortunately, IEPA loans, we wouldn't, if we wanted to do something like this for an IEPA loan, we're looking 18 to 24 months until we could even get the money. That's how backloaded IEPA loans are right now. They had a record number this year of applicants for IEPA loans because the interest rates are so good right now. So right now, IEPA loans are out of the question just because of how long it would take. Grants, there's no real grants for something that small. Water grants are normally in the hundreds of millions of dollars in terms of from the federal government. If you needed 100 million or 200 million, that's where you'll get your grants. For the dollar amount we need, we're not going to be able to apply for any grants in terms for lining. But unfortunately, there's been a lot of streets out there that have had it this bad or a lot worse. I remember back in 2020, in the early 2000s, middle 2000s, Hickory Street, they had like 25 breaks one winter. And that's what really started a lot of these replacements. We'll be out, Hillcrest may have 5 to 7 a year, So it's very unfortunate when they come back to back to back, but with the age of the pipe, you're going to get your big burst and hopefully then it settles down for a while. But unfortunately, to answer your question, it's something we'll have to look at doing in next year's capital budget, and not something where we can get grants and immediate satisfaction. And also do the amount of engineering and state approval to go into a process like that. you're looking at 8 to 9 months of engineering and state approval. State approvals are at least 3 months for something like this, especially the biggest portion it being on a state road
Yeah.
and crossing Nicor's 12-inch high-pressure main. So there's also a 36-inch AT&T duct that runs right next to the main. There's a lot of things going on right there, like I mentioned. With all utilities are trying to get from Theodore up to Caton Farm and towards the mall. All the utilities are trying to do that. So it's a little bit of engineering feat to get there.
And that used to be just a little 2-lane road.
I just wanted to also tell your guys thank you and
Okay.
yourself for all the hard work. The only other question would be is, the road's kind of bumpy where all that work's been done. Is there any way that we can get that leveled out
Yeah,
any
so
better?
the process we go through is we put stone and road mix in, and that's just cold patch right now. We need it to settle.
Okay.
With how deep, and especially that first hole from last Sunday night, the size of it, there was 11 loads of gravel in that hole. So we need it to settle. We need it to go down, and then we can come and do a final asphalt patch on it. But we needed to. That rain yesterday helped. If we get some more rain, that'll expedite the settling process. We need cars to go over it. Every day we will check it to throw a little more cold patch in. Honestly, we'd rather have it a little high so it can get pushed down rather than it be a giant dip.
Okay.
So,
Anybody else? Okay, thanks, Mark. Good job.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay, moving on, Community Development Department. The reports are in your packet. Scott McMaster is dealing with some family health issues, so he has been excused for this meeting also, and he will be back tomorrow. The reports are on file in your packet. Moving on to the Police Department, we have Deputy Chief Tony Rossetti here this evening. Good evening, Tony.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Nothing on the agenda. I'll do my best to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions of the Police Department?
What happened, did they go up there? Because I saw they left.
They did go up there. They just told them, you don't have a permit, you need to go. So
Thank you for that.
You're
Because,
welcome.
I'm going to tell you, the reason we said they couldn't go there is because it's so dangerous. And we were watching them just running in and out of all the cars. And I thought, somebody's going to get killed. So thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks, Tony. Moving on to the mayor's report. I do not have any agenda items this evening, just a couple quick comments. I know that these masks are sometimes annoying to wear, but I am going to ask for everybody in the community for their cooperation in wearing the masks. I'm going to ask everybody for their cooperation on the 6-foot social distancing. You can see here, we're all wearing masks. We are distanced as best as we can be to be 6 feet apart within the chambers and within City Hall. I know that everybody's been watching what's been going on throughout the entire country. Some of the decisions that were made in the city of Chicago today, some of the decisions that have been made in surrounding communities around us. So I'm just asking for everybody's cooperation so we can all get through this. And, the numbers in Illinois are still relatively low, but they are slightly creeping up. So just maybe a little bit more diligence on everybody's part, a little bit more cooperation, to be doing the things that the medical doctors are suggesting that we all do to try and keep the virus at bay and hopefully to eliminate it as soon as possible.
I have a question about that. Few residents that reach on, they ask if we're gonna do as other municipalities enforcing the mask. I know it's a hard thing to enforce, but are we something that we might consider doing? Like make sure the businesses, restaurants.
Well, we've been following the decrees of the governor all along, and I would hope that we would continue to do that. I hope that it does not come to that, but it may, with all of the other states that are spiking now, and with all the travel that everybody's still continuing to do. If it comes to that, we'll certainly have to talk about that at this table, if everybody was in agreement, or the majority would be in an agreement. For right now, that's why I'm just asking for everyone's cooperation to wear the mask, to social distance. I know that the health department has made many visits to a lot of the businesses. just on spot checks, a lot of the liquor establishments and a lot of the businesses in Crest Hill and the surrounding communities. And I hope that that will continue. Again, I think that we all just need to follow the advice of the health department and the doctors out there. And hopefully we can bring this to a conclusion sooner than later.
Thank you.
Okay? The only other thing I want to talk about, you're starting to see some of the census signs around town. I have to tell you how important it is to Crest Hill and to every municipality as far as federal funding goes, as far as federal representation in both Springfield and Washington go. You know, it takes 5 minutes to fill out the census form. If you have not done it already online or in paper form, you can go to the library. If you do not have a computer, call here. We can try to set you up with somebody from the Spanish Community Center if you need help with that. But it's very important. Our numbers are over 70% in Crest Hill right now. We would like to get higher than that. So again, please take the 5 minutes out of your day to fill out the form, either online or in paper form. It will be a tremendous benefit, not only to Crest Hill, but the entire Will County region for federal funding that will be coming through from the census count. So with that, I will entertain any questions anybody may have of the mayor.
Yeah, Ray, I got a call from a few people. Are we allowing people to take our equipment home now at night?
Our vehicles?
Yeah.
They have been taking the vehicles home when we shut down on March 16th. It was a safety and health reason that we wanted to keep one driver in one vehicle as much as possible to eliminate the possibility of having the transfer of germs from more than one person in the truck. So many of them from Public Works, the street department, the sewage treatment plant have been taking the trucks home out of safety concerns, and I think it's been working. Mark, is there anything you could add to that? I know that, I think keeping the germs contained to one vehicle and let them clean their own vehicle, I think has helped out in the last 3.5 months now.
Yeah, just to echo what Ray has said, we started it right after we shut down. It's a great help for guys not keeping them separated and not congregating as much as humanly possible, especially in the confined space of a car. Especially when there is so much unknown guidance on is the disease, is COVID living on surfaces, is it not living on surfaces? So we tried to separate the guys as much as humanly possible.
Has the insurance company notified us? Last time we were gonna do that, they said they're gonna raise the rates on us. Any vehicles that take home like that, the rates of the insurance are gonna go up. How about that? What do you got in that?
I don't know the answer to that one. It would
You
probably
gotta
be
better find the answer
that would be a
then.
Heather question, or I don't know if Megan knows the answer to that one.
That's not Heather.
I know, I said
Said
Megan.
Heather
I
or
can certainly
Megan.
look into notifying our insurance company and get back to you on that.
Then since they're taking them home, I'm gonna give them a 1099. I think that's what they get now when you take a vehicle and say supply you with a vehicle. And at the end of the year, are they gonna get what that vehicle was worth and put that on their taxes so they can pay taxes on a vehicle while they used it?
No.
Yeah, they got to. I did. I had to get that from the company. At the end of the year, I always got how much that car was worth. I had to pay taxes on that money they told me that car was worth.
All
So if they're
of
gonna
our
use them,
drivers are covered under the
Find
city
out about that
insurance
insurance,
policy.
because the insurance company said the rates were high, and we would never let anybody take anything home.
Okay.
You can't claim 1099
I
on
had
a
a guy
city
tell me
card.
he was going down the road the other day, he said he seen one of our trucks going east on Interstate 80, crossing over the top of I-55. Where in the heck is that? That's way the heck out. That's 10 miles from here. 6:30 in the morning. Where was it going?
I
Where
don't
was it
know.
coming from? Nobody knows, see? What's wrong with this place? Everybody does everything they want. No rules or regulations. Do what you want.
That's not true, John. What do you mean there's no rules and regulations? I mean, just because you heard it from somebody doesn't mean it's happening. I mean, they already give you the explanation why it's happening.
Maybe you don't care, but other people.
No,
don't
I
care.
do
Like the
care.
people-
I'm sorry.
when
With all
get
due
citizens
respect, I
calling
do
and say,
care,
"What's that
more
truck
than you
doing
think."
over there? What's that truck doing over there? I said, I don't know. I don't see the truck there. Well, it's there all the time. What's it doing? Maybe you don't give a darn, but it's taxpayers' money.
Oh, thank you.
All right, anybody else question?
Mayor, can you give us an update on the old 12 handles? Is there a new owner? Is there a new liquor license?
Yeah, I would much rather do that at our next work session. I'll have more information for you, Nate. But I know that it's been out there. I will tell you that it is the same owner as of right now. And the same owner has, they're working it up for a name change and a new brand and a new marketing. But I will have more information. I will tell you that a new applicant just came in 2 weeks ago that filled out a liquor license for that establishment. But he's going to go through the process. He's been a longtime businessman, owns another restaurant for 30 years in another municipality. But I will certainly, that's on my agenda for next Monday night at the work session to give everybody an update on that one because it's been evolving in the last 2 weeks here. Okay?
Thanks.
What about the hookah lounge on 30?
The hookah lounge, unfortunately, had a fire there yesterday morning. Considerable amount of damage, I believe, inside. I noticed that the whole, I would say, the south end or the east end, the side that's on Webb Street there, is all boarded up. Nobody was injured, but I think there's been some extensive damage inside. And I don't think that the fire department has come up with a reason of why that fire has started yet.
And Mayor Scott did want me to let the council know that it is temporarily closed due to the fire.
Right. Right.
Go figure.
Okay,
I have a question.
sure.
One of the work session, we discussed extending outdoor seating for the restaurant until July. Are we gonna extend it until August? We said we're gonna revisit it.
We will revisit that next Monday night also. I have not had any complaints in regards to the noise, in regards to anything. I will tell you that in my travels nightly, with the amount of heat that we have had, there are very few people sitting outside. I could probably count them on one hand in the last 3 weeks now that I've seen people sitting outside. So I think everybody's kind of moved indoors with the air conditioning now. But again, we have had very few incidences at any of the liquor establishments, knock on wood, for the last several months. Okay? All right, city clerk's report. Vicki Hackney, good evening, Vic.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have no items on the agenda this evening, just a couple of announcements. The city-wide garage sales will be August 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. Permit fee is $5. The last day to register is August 11th. We will have maps and list available. They'll be in the foyer right when you walk in, so you don't have to come into City Hall. If you do need them emailed to you, please feel free to call our office. We're more than happy to do that. In regard to getting a permit, if you want to put in an envelope, the permit amount and the application, we can also email the permit to you that way. So just to eliminate individuals coming in. A couple things, our sincere sympathy to the family of Lori Thrasher. Lori lost her mother this morning, so we would like to extend on behalf of the clerk's office our deepest sympathy and condolences to her. Please keep her in your thoughts. And we have a birthday today, Tina Oberlin, so
21.
59 again. She keeps going backwards, along with the rest of us, but. And that is all I have this evening. Any questions of the clerk's office, I'd be happy to answer.
Questions of city clerk? All right, thanks, Vic.
Thank you, Ray.
Moving on, city treasurer's report, our treasurer, Glenn Conklin. Good evening, Glenn.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'd like to report regular and overtime payroll from June 22nd, 2020 through July 5th of 2020 in the amount of $228,885.27. I seek your approval on our list of bills, which in the same time period totals $1,223,657.81.
So moved. Second.
We have motion by Alderwoman Sclera, seconded by Alderwoman Oberlin for the approval of the list of bills. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
John Verche.
Yes.
Marco Colity Petro.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Barbara Scoler.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you all. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have them. or try to.
Questions of the treasurer? All right, thanks, Glenn.
Thanks and good night.
Unfinished business, we have nothing on the agenda. Anyone? New business? Anyone? Committee liaison reports.
Well, I have something. And I'm sure everyone is aware of this, but I did have somebody bring it to my attention that maybe somebody wasn't aware of it. But with everything that had gone on with the COVID, and St. Joe's Park, of course, is closed for the whole summer. There will be no picnic this year. I've said it earlier on in the year, but I will repeat that so people know there will be no picnic this year.
Anybody else? City council comments. These are positive city council comments. Anything you'd like to share with any of your constituents? We'll begin with Ward 3, Alderwoman Overland this evening.
Well, in this July 8th, the city of Crest Hill lost one of our founding members of the Crest Hill Women's Civic League, Sally Johnson. Went up to start her merriment and parties in heaven. She was quite the character and an extremely dedicated worker for people, the Will County Health. She was just a tireless person over there, every Christmas raising big carloads of things to donate to the people over there, the residents. And back in the day when they formed the league, she was a very, very hard-working, dedicated person to move that cause forward. Her husband Jerry had died just a few days prior to her, so they're together again now. But I do want to send my condolences to her children and her family, and a little tip of the hat and the honk of the clown nose to her. She was special. Thank you.
Alderman Cola DiPietro.
Just happy birthday to my esteemed colleague, social distanced colleague to my right. And also condolences to Lori's mom, or to Lori on the passing of her mother. That's it.
Ward 4, Alderman Albert.
I just wanted to piggyback off of the comments that were said earlier about Public Works guys. I mean, they've done a fantastic job with all those breaks, and I know Mark has too. I spoke to Mark quite a bit during those breaks, and he said he only got a few hours of sleep. So thank you, Mark, and thanks to the guys. I just want the residents to realize that there are a lot of capital improvements that maybe they just don't see as often. There's a lot of water mains and infrastructure that is aging, but there's a lot being replaced and there is a lot being repaired. So it's a process. It's just a slow process. So we're getting there. Thank you, Mayor.
Alderman Kubal.
Ray, on a lighter note, and movie goers take note, our park district will be presenting Ferris Bueller's Day Off Friday, July 31st at Crest Hills Hassert Park. It'll be at 8:30 at night. It's a drive-in form, and for Crest Hill residents, it's $5 a carload. And you'd like to go online to get more information on it, and you do have to sign up for that and know what car you're going to be coming in. So I think that's kind of neat, right at Crest Hills Hassert Park.
Good.
That's it.
Very good. Ward 2, Alderwoman Gazal.
My condolences to Lori Treasure and her family. Mark, thank you to you and all your crew out there. Thank you for keeping us on front constantly. You're doing an amazing job with that. Also, I want to thank the school district, the teachers, everyone that is involved, the board. They have a very, very difficult situation right now that they're dealing with, trying to figure out going back to school. I see a lot of negative comments on social media about the school, and let's remember, we're all trying to figure this thing out. This is our kids' life that we're putting out there. The school job is to teach our kids, to show them education. They're not a daycare, they're not a babysitting. So let's have a little compassion and work with the school and try to make the best of the situation, because we're all trying to figure this thing out. I'm nervous. I'm sure Nate is nervous. Everyone that has kids, we don't know what's going to happen. So let's be a little compassion and support the school with any decision that they're going to do. I understand it's not easy. I'm a single parent. I know how it is. We always have to figure out babysitting, car ride, etc. But let's make the best out of it. Instead of being so negative right now, let's lift each other and help each other with the situation so we can all figure out this situation. Thank you, Mayor.
Alderwoman Sclar.
I also would like to say condolences to Lori and her family, and great job to the guys in Public Works.
Ward 1, Alderman Verche.
The only thing I got to say is keep the distance and keep the mask on, help get rid of this epidemic. Every little bit helps.
I agree. And I usually don't say anything at this point, but I would like to congratulate all of our grade school graduates. Both Cheney, Manji, and Richland this past week, they did a reduced graduation, very limited in numbers, to honor all of the 8th grade students that graduated, and we will be moving on to high school. And, you know, you feel sorry for the sacrifices that all of those young students had to make for the last 3.5 months, both academically, sports-wise, socially. They missed out on a lot for the last 2.5 months of the school year that they'll never probably get back. So hats off to Joe Simpkins and the staff at Richland School and Andy Siegfried and the staff at Cheney Manji School, because they did make it a very special night for all the students, about 120 from Richland and about 50 from Cheney Manji. They did a very, the best that they could with the situation that they had with the social distancing and everything else. Again, it was a very reduced ceremony, but I think that the students appreciated the effort that was made, and I think that the students appreciated the fact that they did have some sense of a graduation from grade school, even though it was later than what anybody had anticipated. So hats off to both school districts for all the, I know it took a lot of time and effort to put that all together to make it work. And so just congratulations to all our graduates, and hopefully you'll be back in school in the fall here, and you'll have a great school year. Public comment? If anyone would like to address City Council, please step to the podium, state your name for the record. Your address is optional. Let the record show that no one has approached the podium. To our Assistant City Administrator, Megan, is there a need for an executive session?
No, there is not, Mayor.
Adjournment would be in order.
Second, I'll make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Verche, seconded by Alderman Cola Pietro. The new sidekick there.
That's it.
Roll call,
Joe
please.
Kubal,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Tina Opperman.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Robert Scalar.
Yes.
Margot Flutie Petro.
Yes.
John Burchett.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, meeting is adjourned at 7:42 PM. I thank you and good evening.